Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to be going through an alternative method of training Invention. Well, two alternative methods. Both of these are using skilling. One is via fishing and one is via woodcutting. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So guys, for fishing we're going to be using the fishing rod-o-matic. You can see all the parts that we need in the top left. Now, starting off with the 80 flexible, the way I would do this is to buy some maple shield bows or maple shield bows unstrung, because they're really cheap. You can disassemble those and get flexible parts really easily, and it's so cheap that you might as well just do it. Now for the 60 base and 6 dextrous components, the way I would do it is by doing a sword run, going through all of the sword shops in RuneScape, disassembling all of the swords from bronze all the way up to adamant if you're willing to spend enough on adamant. There's the way I would do it is to go to Berthorpe. In the northeast of Berthorpe there's a two-handed shop, and then you go into the Warriors Guild, go upstairs, and you can buy some swords here. Disassemble all of them up to any tier that you're willing to spend money on, and you should have enough base and dexterous components all done. Now finally we have the 4 swift components. These are probably the hardest out of the materials on screen right now to get. The way I would do this is to buy offhand adamant knives, because they're not too expensive and they do have a pretty low junk percentage. So you disassemble offhand adamant knives that you get from the GE, and then you should have enough swift components to make the fishing rod-o-matic. So guys, once you've actually discovered how to make the rod-o-matic on the inventor's workbench and you've got all the materials, all you need to do is bring a standard fishing rod to any invention workbench and you can just make a fishing rod-o-matic. And this is what you'll be using to get fishing XP while also training a bit of invention. So now you've got an augmented fishing rod. I recommend taking it either to the waterfall fishing in Prifddinas, which does require 90 agility and fishing, or if you don't have these requirements, take it to barbarian fishing. While training fishing, it will gain levels and it can be disassembled for invention XP. I'd recommend getting it to level 10, which takes around 2.5 hours at the highest level fishing spot at the waterfall, and after those 2.5 hours it will give you 460k XP if you disassemble it at level 10, which works out to around 180,000 XP per hour for invention, which is obviously slower than doing the combat method, but it's so much cheaper and it's very AFK. Now if you don't want to make the rod-o-matic, you can go a bit more expensive route, but I wouldn't recommend it because it is quite expensive compared to this, and the advantages of it aren't that great, which is augmenting a crystal fishing rod. But the cost of the crystal fishing rod and the fact that it only saves you a couple of minutes in getting to level 10 means that I definitely would not recommend that way. But if you have the money and you feel like going for it, go for it. I'd always recommend making the fishing rod-o-matic instead. Next we move on to the woodcutting method, which is basically just making an augmenter, which I've been through on my other invention video. I'll link that in the description if you want to know how to make an augmenter, and then you attach it to your crystal hatchet or your dragon hatchet, whichever one you're using. Obviously it's better to disassemble, so I would recommend, if you've got the money, to augment dragon hatchets and disassemble those. But if you don't and you want to get the fastest XP in woodcutting while not getting the best invention XP per hour, I'd recommend attaching it to your crystal hatchet and siphoning off that. Now the way you can do it for hatchets that are in your tool belt, is by going to Doc in the Invention Guild, taking an augmenter to him and talking to him. You can basically choose an option where he will augment whatever hatchet is in your tool belt and take it out and replace it with a rune hatchet. So you can do that, but the invention XP while woodcutting is a lot slower than even the fishing, and I would only recommend it, as I said before, if you are going for 120 woodcutting or really high woodcutting anyway, just to get some free invention XP on the side. So guys, that is it for this video. If it did help you out, be sure to leave a like, and if you have any questions, be sure to put them down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to read and respond to all of them. As usual, have fun whatever you're doing. Peace out.